Welcome and thank you very much for joining me in this class. How do you study for an English exam that can ask questions from anywhere from the syllabus? This is one of the questions that is faced by all English literature students. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you three tips that will help you to efficiently prepare for any English competitive exam. Remember, there are three things that we have to study in any subject. There are some concepts, there are some facts, and some procedures. But when it comes to literature, we have to study only two things. The first one is there are a lot of concepts which we can find in the glossary of literary terms, and a lot of facts which is spread throughout English literature. So, how can we master it? This is the thing that we are going to address. Hi, I'm Pradeep Hariharan. I'm an assistant professor of English, presently working as a faculty at Inglaterra Career Academy, where we give coaching for UGC NET and state and PSC exams. I want to, before I jump in, I want to share with you the stories of three people who has helped me to better my learning skills. The first one is Benny Lewis, and the second one is Cottage Young, and the third one is Ryan Holiday. Benny Lewis, he is a polyglot, and he learns a language in 3 months. That is, he is so fluent, actually fluent in 3 months. There's a program which is run by him, and he moved to Brazil initially, and he's learned Portuguese. Then he set a what I may call a challenge to himself that he will become fluent in a language in 3 months. And he learned almost 8 to 10 languages so far. Most of them are very different languages, as different from Arabic to Japanese and Korean. So he says that when he changed his learning methods, he became a better speaker of languages. That is, he started to learn things fastly. And second one is Cottage Young, who has written an amazing book which is known as Ultra Learning, which you can see lying behind me. And I'm taking some tips from that, and also an article written by him. He wrote and cleared the MIT exam, Massachusetts Institute of Technology exam, 4-year exam, without going there in just 6 months. So he shares a lot of strategies how to study effectively. And the third one is Ryan Holiday, author of 12 books, and all these people are available on YouTube if you watch them. And this guy, Ryan Holiday, he reads a book which has a length of 1,100 words in a week, and amazingly he captures whatever he reads, and he, what you may call, takes notes, and he can reproduce. So when I read about these people, I understood that there is something seriously wrong with how we learn. So what are the things that we have to know? So these people say there are certain things which are common in all of them. The first one is that they changed their learning style. Okay, then before I move into that, I want to tell you how to approach our exam, literature exam. The first thing they say that when they are writing an exam is to, which we have seen, that is going through the previous question papers. So when it comes to an exam, for example, UGC or this EMRS exam, if you go for previous question papers, there are a lot of questions. Okay, so I'll share a tip that will work for you. Actually, what you have to do is you have to download the Kindle app in your laptop, and after downloading it, you have to buy an ebook of previous question papers. Then what you have to do is, there is a left hand side, there is a search button, there is a circle you can see where you have to type the author names. Okay, for example, there are certain authors which are repeatedly asked, like Shakespeare, Charles Dickens, Thomas Hardy, Milton. So when you type the name, it will highlight all the pages where the author is asked. So what happens is, if you type Shakespeare, you may get some 29 or 30 questions asked previously. So don't go and study it. Just look at the patterns, how they have asked. Why I'm telling you this, I'll tell you later. Because whenever an examiner sets a question paper, he is given the syllabus along with a previous question paper and also a model question paper. So we always follow the same path. The second thing is that how to select the authors. Remember, that is the most biggest challenge for us. There is a trick for you. All the question paper for centralized Indian exams are set in Delhi. So it is a truth. So if you follow the syllabus, PG syllabus of Delhi University, JNU, Jamia Millia, you will get a picture. For example, from Donne, which works they have referred. For example, from Shakespeare, which plays they have referred. For similarly, when you look at that, when you compare the syllabus, you will know which authors and which works you have to study for. Then, when you compare that with your previous question papers, you can certainly see a pattern. So, I repeatedly say don't go and study the previous question papers, because they will never ever repeat the questions. That is one of the standardized things in Indian exams, especially this public service exams. So, understand the pattern, then you devise a pattern of what are the questions asked from the author, what are the questions asked from the work, how many works they have covered. So once you get an idea and a strategy, then you have to follow the methods. The first thing they say is that discipline, which we have heard about it. All these people, they studied minimum 2 hours every day without break. Okay, so that is, sometimes there may be things happen to you. In that case, at least ensure that you study for 5 minutes in a day. Otherwise, that pattern will be broken. Then they say that they don't know, none of these people, they don't cram anything. There is a method which is known as spaced out learning. That is, for example, Ryan Holiday says that he reads a book in a week, then keeps it away. Then after 2 or 3 weeks, he takes it back and he reviews the book. Then he keeps it there. Then after some 1 or 2 weeks, he takes it and reviews and takes the notes down. So what happens is that instead of studying something intensively, he spaces out his timing. So when he goes back and recollects it, it is installed in his memory. This is one of the finest learning methods which I have learned. Then another thing is that they say, especially Cottage Young say that highlighting is not a strategy for study. When you highlight something, we have a feeling that we have learned it. He says, if you highlighting is no problem, some of the things you have to highlight, but after studying for say 20 minutes, before getting up, you have to close the book and ask yourself, what are the things that I studied now? This is known as recalling. Okay, then he says that this is the thing that has worked for him. So before getting up, he will just ask himself, what are the things? It is not a free recall. If he cannot recall anything, he says that I haven't studied anything. So getting active with the material. And third thing he says that generate a lot of self test for yourself. Okay, instead of actually you have to write mock test, but it is always useful to generate self test and work. So in short, what I want to tell you is that the first thing, you have to have a strong strategy for studying. Go back to previous question papers and use what you may call Kindle app to locate and understand the pattern. And finally, they say that they all try to learn better by some form of what you may call sharpening their skills. So one of the best methods of sharpening the skills, they say, is to be calm. Okay, only in a calm mind the brain can accept. So I highly recommend you either to pray or meditate for 5 to 10 minutes. I highly recommend meditation, because that is what I do for last 2 years. I have been doing for last 2 years, and it has immensely helped my learning skills as a teacher in mid 40s, which is something fascinating for me. So these are the things I want to share with you. Hope this video was useful to you. If it was useful, please do comment useful. I'll see you in another video. Until then, take care.